Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. Going a bit David Frost there already. I always do it. But it is week 10 of our online tailgate. We are Bengals UK. You're very welcome. And of course, it's a big game today. We'll be talking about our rivalry with the Steelers at some stage. No doubt, quite regularly. We've got daft food things to talk about. We'll have a couple of special guests. But if you want to come onto the show and say hello, the link is on our Facebook page and our Twitter feed. So do come and say hello. But joining me here now, right now, is Peter Dadswell. Hello, Peter.
Good day.
Jamie Rowe. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
All right, mate. How are you?
Just about fine.
He's back. It's Kevin Angel. Kevin, welcome
Good
back.
day. You're right.
As I mentioned earlier, it is time. It's Nemesis week. It's Pittsburgh week. Not to build it up too much. The 8-0 Pittsburgh Steelers take on the whatever we are, Cincinnati Bengals. It's not worth mentioning the record, is it really? Of course, we're going to knack them. We're going to absolutely batter them today because that's how we always think. But we thought, rivalries, one can't exist without the other, and this rivalry has been going back since the 1970s when the Bengals and Ken Anderson, Bob Trumpy and Isaac Curtis and all those guys were doing battle with Terry Bradshaw and Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. And, of course, the Steelers went on to win Super Bowls and the Bengals were just a good team. How history repeats itself, generation. Kev, how are you feeling about today and how much do you hate the Steelers?
I said on Twitter earlier, if we win this game today, that'll do my season for me. That's where I am. I always look forward to this game. I'm excited. The Steelers O has got to go.
The Steelers have got to go. I'm sure there'll be a few nominations as to where they'll go. But Pete,
Nomination.
Yeah, exactly. Room 101, the pit of hell, wherever, really. Pete, what about you? What does Steelers week mean to you? There's always the talk of like the Bengals being the little brother in the relationship. Again, as I mentioned, the Steelers always go on to win the bloody Super Bowl, and we're kind of the nearly team. What does the rivalry mean to you? Do you care that much? Do you despise the Steelers as much as Kev down there?
I do, but I mean, it's clear that we feel more passionately about them than they do about us, and I think they feel more about the rivalry with Baltimore than with us. And I think our rivalry is based around the fact that we have lost out in so many different forms, whether it be foul play, whether it be actually losing games, heartbreaking games like the 2015. No, okay, no, I won't say it. And I think that's fed our rivalry. Then you've got all the issues with Vontaze Burfict, and then follow with the revenge that Juju got, and no one. Juju's not answered to that yet. No one has sought retribution yet for what Juju did, and the teams have now moved on, and the squads are very, very different. So that one might have passed us by, but yeah, I'm still passionate about this. We've had no Bengals football now for 2 weeks, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Irrespective of who we're playing, just really looking forward to the game. I think I've watched the Titans highlights, 40-minute highlights, twice now since in the last fortnight. So I'm just really looking forward to another enjoyable game. Not sure about the outcome, but we'll see. We'll enjoy it.
You don't get out much, Pete, do you, these days? Well, actually, no one does, to be
honest. Lockdown. What am I supposed to do?
What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Some people go into Pornhub. Pete watches the Titans-Bengals highlight. Speaking of Pornhub, Jamie, how are you doing?
Yes, you can subscribe to my OnlyFans for $5 a month. I am all right. I'm not feeling the Steelers rivalry as much as I was in previous years right now. I think the rivalry benefits from when both teams are doing well. And I think that where a rivalry has quite a mismatched thing where one team's doing particularly well and the other team's not doing particularly well. That kind of kills it slightly as a spectacle. Now, if we can take their unbeaten start off them, if we can cause them some damage, if we can wipe some of the smug grins off some of the more kind of obsequious of their team, that might get the juices flowing a bit, and that might get things erupting a bit.
All right, yeah, that's a sneak peek for your OnlyFans later on, I think. Kev, we've not seen you for a few weeks now. How have you been viewing the Bengals season from afar?
I love the drama. I know we shouldn't, but I just love the suspense every week. No, yeah, I thought that Titans game was great, but yeah, I just love the drama. I know it's being a Bengals fan comes with the fact that you've got to take the rough with the smooth, and I think we're used to it. So it'd be nice if we could get off early for the Steelers and just really show who's boss. But I don't know.
Absolutely.
It has to be said that last week there was no way the beat up Dallas Cowboys with their third string or fourth string quarterback were going to get anywhere near the unbeaten Steelers. But they were a couple of big plays, a couple of dodgy flags in favor of the Steelers, away from doing just that. We're beat up. There's no way we should beat the 8-0 Steelers right now, right? A couple of big plays at the right time, maybe different.
So, Jamie, would you say this is like shades of Kansas City in 2003? That's what a lot of people have been harking back to, clinging on to.
Yeah, there's certainly parallels. I think the 03 Bengals team were possibly a little bit further ahead of where this team is overall. However, this team has the vastly better quarterback. And I think if things are put into Burrow's hands, despite the fact that the weather's going to be atrocious today, I think there's always the chance that this might be more in the balance than the form book suggests.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's very rare that teams can go unbeaten in this league, such as the parity and that middle ground. Excuse me, every team has got good players, and as have we. So there are a few reasons why we probably won't win, but certainly there are enough reasons why we could win, I think, today. Who remember? And this is the all-time classic, really, isn't it? Who remembers this? Despite their superior record over us over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, to a decade, really, there was a time when we went into Pittsburgh with all kinds of swagger, thanks to Chad Johnson, and who guaranteed a Bengals win, and so it happened. And it's, as you say, Pete, it's been really, we've been so close to, apart from a few victories over the past sort of 5, 6 years. I mean, there's been some heartbreaking losses, really, hasn't there?
There has. But in recent times, they have been at the hands of certain individuals who aren't there anymore. Brown's gone, Bell's gone. Yeah. There's still Big Ben, right? And he's been a problem to us. How many times have we got to the quarterback and thinking, we're going to sack him, and he wriggles free? I mean, the size of that body, you wouldn't have thought he could wriggle free anyway, but we just don't bring him down. And he finds the play, the right play at the right time. These squads are changing. The mentalities are changing. Let's hope that our fortunes against the Steelers are also going to change as a result.
Well, let's hope so, because we're going to. If we do it, we're going to be doing it the hard way, because Darius Phillips is out. Winston Rose, who we probably normally call up, is out. I mean, the whole COVID thing and injury thing is really starting to bite hard. And there was a story, Jamie, earlier on in the week, or a couple of days ago, that dear old John Ross, so desperate to be involved, and such was the shortage at cornerback, they actually worked him out in practice as a corner, but he injured his foot.
I think those were two separate things. So he practiced at cornerback, but injured his foot on a wide receiver route, which, to be fair, he's an unlucky soul, and I don't think he's particularly happy in Cincinnati and how the sort of Cincinnati offense is run in a way that doesn't really suit him. And I think he's kind of a square peg in an offense full of round holes. His opportunity is not going to come here, and to be honest, he could and should have been traded at the deadline. That would have probably been the fairest thing for all involved. It's just whether they could find a price for him above a ream of printer paper.
Or fax paper.
Yes.
I mean, but we have. I mean, we're doing this. You might be wondering why we're doing this tailgate now instead of an hour before the kickoff, which is tonight at 9:25. We're doing it because, well, continuity, and also it gives you guys a chance to get set up and prepared for the 6 o'clock games. Because I know a lot of you guys out there really enjoy switching on Red Zone and keeping up with what's going on, and there's some big games today. Cleveland are playing Houston, but the team news so far is that Sam Hubbard has been activated from the reserve injured list. Darius Phillips and John Ross go on to the reserve injured list. From the practice squad, Stanley Morgan, cornerback Jalen Davis, Quentin Spain, and the defensive tackle Khalil McKenzie have all been elevated. Pete, any impressions on that?
I didn't hear that. Who was that for?
For you, Pete.
Yeah, look, we expected Spain to come up, didn't we? I'll put it to you, gentlemen. Let's try and predict that O-line, starting O-line today. But we're beat up, but every team is at this stage. This is about depth. We found we've got some depth, but not in key places. I'm not sure how we're going to line up in the secondary. Paul, you and I were talking about this off air. There are options, but they don't appeal a great deal. Mackenzie Alexander is far more experienced. Can he go to an outside cornerback and then they slot Sean Williams in as a nickelback? I don't know. That's a bit worrying. But what do you reckon to the O-line? How's that going to feature with Quentin Spain now having come up?
Well, I like suddenly we've got sort of weird amounts of depth on the O-line when
especially interior.
So I don't know. I mean, Kev, were you impressed with Hakeem Adeniji when he played against the Titans? He seemed to do a good job, didn't he?
Yeah, that's not my strong point.
I mean, there was even a suggestion that Adeniji did well at left tackle. That's obviously where Jonah should line up. The problems for the Steelers is in the form of Watt, and he'll come off their left side, our right side. So do they slot Jonah in at right tackle to face off against him and leave Adeniji at left tackle? I'm not so sure. I mean, Jonah's been left tackle for most of his collegiate career and certainly all of his career with the Bengals as far as it is so far. So I think that would be juggling things around a little bit too much. I say you pick your 5 best players in the 5 best positions. Jonah's left tackle. I'd probably keep Spain at left tackle. I don't think he's played left guard. I don't think he's played right guard quite so much. I would revert back to Hopkins rather than Price. I'm just not sure on right guard. Possibly Price. Is Redmond available today?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, maybe Redmond then, and then I'm playing Adeniji at right tackle and just hoping.
Well, of course, you mentioned they line TJ Watt up over the right tackle, but then you've got to account for Stephon Tuitt, Cam Hayward, Tyson Alualu, Bud Dupre, all these ridiculous pass rushers and interior guys. So I think the Bengals are going to have their hands full, whatever they.
I was saying to you beforehand, looking at their secondary, they play very deep. They intercept the ball a lot. because they look for the deep ball to intercept, and they do have a very soft zone coverage underneath, and I think that's how we'll move the ball on them. I think we will nickel and dime them down the pitch. I think that's what we have to do, which means we get the ball out quickly, which takes out part of their pass rush strength. So I'll be looking for Sample, for short passes to Sample, screen passes. I'm hoping that they really will bear some fruit today. Tyler Boyd crossing routes, nickel and dime down the pitch, keep the ball out of Big Ben's hands. Don't throw it deep too much, because that gives their secondary a chance. And I think that's probably our best way of putting points on the board.
Well, let's talk about the Steelers a bit later. Kev, did you watch the chili special last week, and what were your impressions of it?
I did. I loved it. I can't remember Laurie was her name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible. The effort. I had to look up how to make oyster crackers, so I'm gonna do that. Slightly concerned about the amount of cheese that Tom used. Borderline illegal potentially there.
He is still alive. He hasn't had a coronary since, so he's okay.
I was just thinking, what other Cincy foods are there that obviously that?
There's
stuff, isn't there?
Greater's ice cream.
Yeah, and Guetta as well. But we've got an actual Cincinnati person here we can ask firsthand, because, please give a big online tailgate welcome back to Jim Foster. Jim, how you doing, man?
Who dey, guys?
Hi, Jim.
My sound okay here? Were you guys good?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Were you guys talking Grater's ice cream?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Anything at Grater's.
I agree. Now, Jim, last week we had I don't know if you saw it or heard of it, but we had a chili special because it was bye week. We wanted to do something a little bit different. We challenged 3 Bengals fans in the UK to cook their version of Cincinnati chili. Some were more successful than others, I have to say. And one of the guys here just asked, what else is Cincinnati known for in terms of food? And you're the perfect man to ask.
So, I mean, Cincinnati, obviously the chili is kind of a go-to, a Cincinnati staple. There's chili all across the country, right? But that's unique to Cincinnati, the way we make our chili. Other foods, man, you got restaurants here that claim they do it better than anybody else. You got the Montgomery Inn ribs down on the waterfront area, which is really good. La Rosa's Pizza is a Cincinnati staple. So it's funny, and there's more breweries. Now we're talking a little bit. We need the beer to go with the food, but there's more breweries per capita in the Cincinnati area than anywhere else in the country. So we're known for our good chili, ice cream, and beer, not necessarily all together.
Now, I'm a vegetarian, but I didn't try this, but my mate Jimmy did. Guetta. Talk to us about Guetta.
I'm sorry, Getta. It's called Getta. That is definitely a staple to this region, because anytime I even go outside this area, people struggle with what that even is. So it's basically pin oats and pork. And if you ever come to Cincinnati and you get Getta, ask for it a little extra crispy. It is delicious. A little hot sauce on top, pin oats and pork. It's the best. It's really good. That is definitely unique to Cincinnati. You're right, Paul.
I think it's your version of our black pudding. That's the closest.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably a good comparison. When Trish and I were over in London the last few times in 16 and last year, we had to have the blood pudding both times we were there. You know what? Probably the best comparison, Paul. You probably nailed it.
Where are you, Jim? Tell us about what you're doing today. You're a powerhouse when it comes to tailgates. We all know that. And you've been keeping this fan community going during lockdown, all these troubled sausages. Someone just sent us a message saying, "Don't forget Queen City sausage." So there you go. Right.
Queen City sausage makes Getta as well. It's a good local company.
Okay. You've been doing some amazing things, and you're doing an amazing thing today. No us what you're up to, where you are, because that's not your living room, I'm guessing.
This is my house, man. What are we talking about?
Oh, there you go.
No, we are. During the COVID stuff this year, guys, it's like, okay, we had one of two choices, right? We can completely stay in our houses for months on end and not do anything, or maybe we can go out and do some things, but do it responsibly. So there are some state laws here in Ohio that allow us to go out and do some things. We have to wear our mask inside. Right now, I'm not wearing my mask because I'm talking to you and nobody's around me. So we continued our tailgating at 40% capacity, wearing masks and all those things. But today is a very special event. One of our big tailgate sponsors is 16 Lot Brewery up here, a little bit north of Ohio in Mason, Ohio. And we're doing a big fundraiser. So we're raising money today for the Green Beret Foundation and the Kenny Anderson Alliance, which is obviously a charity, both of these charities near and dear to our heart. So in this venue here, we're allowed to get 50% capacity inside and out on our balcony area. So we can max out no more than 140 people inside the building here. It's a giant facility here. And then we also have the parking lot open to us for tailgating today. So we can fit by law, another 200 people in the parking lot with spacing out there as well. No more. So we've got people here counting heads as they go in, making sure we have the right numbers and everything. The thing about it today, though, is funny, is that it's 55 degrees. It's sunny out. The winds are howling, guys. We're talking 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds up to 40 to 50-mile-an-hour gust of winds today. I was driving the Bengal bus here and almost flipped over with the heavy winds, man. So, but we're expecting a really good crowd. We had a lot of people buy some raffle tickets before we're doing raffles. We're doing split the pots. We have a Ken Anderson signed jersey. We have a Boomer Esiason 1997 signed jersey. We have got all kinds of cool stuff to raffle off and raise money for these two great foundations. And we really want to thank Dell Hall and 16 Lots and Kevin Potts and the Ken Anderson Alliance and all the guys from the Green Beret Foundation. They were really looking forward to this because during COVID, guys, these foundations are really struggling because they usually do these events face to face all the time, and they have not been able to do anything. So we're just trying to do what we can to help these foundations out, these charities, and do what we can to help them. And obviously, it's a big watch party at 4:15, 4:20 time here, Cincinnati time. That's the whole reason to get together as well. We're going to have a big watch party, a big fundraiser, and have a lot of fun out here.
Have you got a big screen for the game or?
Well, yeah, we do. We have a giant projector and a giant screen, but we're going to make a game time decision here, depending on how heavy these winds are blowing, if that screen gets put up in the parking lot. So although it's beautiful outside, you can see the wind gusting, and if the wind's supposed to calm down a little bit, if it calms down enough to we get that the screen up with the projector, because this projector is solid, it works in the daylight even. So we're crossing our fingers right now, Peter. It's a little too soon to make that call, but I'm telling you, the wind's gusting out here pretty bad. If it's blowing like this at 4 o'clock today, we're not gonna be able to put that screen up. So.
Well, irrespective of what the weather's like, I could probably speak for everyone on this side of the pond. We would all be envious of the ability to go to a tailgate, watch the game on a screen, whatever. Yeah, it's a little bit different here, sadly, but we're very envious of you.
Well, look, man, we love you guys. You know that, man. It's been. I wish the Bengals played over there every single year because we would be over there having some pints with you guys. So, but when you guys ever get back, there's a bunch of great tailgates in Cincinnati. Make time, stop at a bunch of them, and come see us, brother. Because hopefully this stuff calms down, and next year you guys can get in town, man. And hopefully we get back on the schedule in London because we will be there, brother. Somehow I'm going to figure out a way to get the bus if we can, get it to float over, put motor on it, and kind of take it over the pond and meet you guys over there.
Jim, we know that you're big on history. Anybody that follows Jim on Twitter, one of the best Bengals follows that you can make, I think, on Twitter. He always posts some amazing clips from history, and Jim's Tuesday Night Football show has some fantastic guests, mostly, and that's your niche, I think. That's your niche, isn't it? You're really into the history, love talking to older players and getting their stories. I wanted to ask you about this Steelers rivalry. When were you aware of it, and how? It's obviously a big deal for fans, but what does the rivalry mean to you?
Yeah, it's funny. That's a great question, Paul. I think it means something different to everybody as a Bengal fan. This wasn't a rivalry in the 80s, guys. The Bengals dominated this matchup. I mean, totally dominated this matchup. It was the only decade the Bengals won big at the end of the year. But when the 90s started, and as bad as the Bengals were and the Steelers were that good, there was a lot of animosity built up between the both fan bases because the Steelers ran that division during that time. And, we've struggled against these guys at times over the last decade or two. As much as I dislike the city up north, I think with the recent history with the bad blood and the maybe all the 15-yard personal fouls that we seem to get in these games every single year, man, it means a little bit more for some reason right now. And it would make every Bengals fan's day, no matter where you're at in the world, to see the Bengals and Coach Taylor get his first road win against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. And I'll tell you, I just had goosebumps saying it, because when it happens today, guys, it's a very intense rivalry. And I have friends from Pittsburgh, and they love messing with me a little bit, but I hope the shoe turns. We flip this, because as irritating as they've been for the last decade or two, it's our turn to irritate the hell out of them for the next decade or two. It's our turn now, but it's intense, Paul. It's pretty intense.
What's your favourite Steelers game? Is it the one where Pickens scored that TD in the last seconds?
Yep. That's the one. I think we posted a clip on that here earlier this week as well, Paul. That was, I want to say that was 96, 97, somewhere 95, 96, somewhere around there. Back and forth game, all game. I think it was Neil O'Donnell had a 4th and 12 with less than a minute left inside our own 10-yard line. He just throws it up 40 yards downfield, 4th and 12. Pickens grabs it. Corey Dillon just trucks poor Washington, the DB.
That wasn't Washington's best drive. It
was not. I really think he got cut the next day, Jamie. I really do. But there's so many great games. I mean, being in Pittsburgh a few times when the Bengals beat them in Pittsburgh, Leon Hall's interception return for a touchdown. There's a lot of great ones. But man, as a young person growing up in that mid '90s, we never beat these guys, and that was just an outstanding. The fake punt or the fake stopping the clock and throwing it up to Pickens on the left side of the end zone. That was, to me, number one.
Good stuff, Jim. Well, we'll let you go today. Where can people donate if they want to? Where can they find you on Twitter? Give us all that good stuff.
Yeah, so just Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's just at BengalsGym_BTR, which is before the war tailgate. But if you could go to any of the social media, we have some links posted. So a lot of people obviously won't be able to make it down here today. So you can donate directly to the Ken Anderson Alliance or the Green Bay Foundation. But even better, you can donate and get a chance to win all these door prizes and these raffle prizes we're doing as well. So there's a link on our social media, and I'll reshare that as soon as we get off the call here, guys. But you can actually go on and purchase raffle tickets for all these different things. The Ken Anderson jersey. We got a great print from Paul Brown that I just picked up the other day for this. We have a Boomer Esiason jersey signed off, the 97 jersey, which was sweet with the jumping tiger on the sleeve. So you can actually buy raffle tickets and be entered in for these drawings for these raffle prizes. You do not need to be present.
Great stuff, Jim. Well, as ever, we appreciate the time. It's always good to see and hear from you, mate, and have a great day today. As Pete said, we're extremely envious, but you're doing great things, keeping that community going. We love talking to you. So thanks again for coming on, man.
Man, thanks, guys. And hey, after this game's over, we're going to hear each other from across the pond. We're going to be yelling loud. Hopefully you can hear us and vice versa.
All right.
Who day, guys?
Everybody. All the best.
Who day, mate?
Who day?
Well, there you go. That was Jim. Kev, what would you do if you were in a Bengals kind of tailgate stroke watch party today? That would be something a bit special, wouldn't it?
Probably lose my shit, I imagine. I'd be surprised. I'd be so confused. No, it sounds incredible what they're doing. All the charity stuff, and that sounds amazing. So envious that they can just be with other fans right now. I mean, I love hearing from Jim, because he seems so humble and seems so appreciative of UK fans. I mean, he comes on most weeks, doesn't he? And it's just so appreciative. It's so nice to I know when I speak to other friends that support other teams, they don't have that appreciation from home fans. Like, a lot of them get angry that we're taking a game away from the whatever, as if we don't deserve it. So just to have him say we'd come over all the time, and it's just incredible.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's sort of surprise. Obviously it's a big deal for us to have games over here, but it just it didn't surprise me the first time, but it surprised me how many American fans came back in 2019. after such a. It's only like 2 or 3 years, and that trip costs a couple of grand. You know what I mean? Especially if you do it through the official kind of, the Bengals kind of organised trip.
But is it a great deal more for them than, for example, making a weekend of a trip to the West Coast to watch the Bengals play in LA? I don't know exactly, but I would imagine it's not significantly different. And we know that they would love to absorb the culture and to experience it over here in the UK. So I get it.
No, I'm just going to say we're very lucky, as Kev said, because like Jim came over twice, and Jeremy and Jess, obviously, another two amazing fans. Some of the bomb squad came over. Zim Houday was over in town. I completely missed Zim on last year. He was around. So it's we're lucky to have those ties, really, aren't we?
Yeah. And hopefully the next time it's an away game in the fixture, so we're not taking a game away from Paul Brown Stadium.
No. We've got some comments here. Dan Gladstone says, "Do you guys see Minka Fitzpatrick being an issue?" What do you think, Jamie?
Oh yeah, I mean, I see the whole defense and the whole Pittsburgh defense being an issue right now, particularly if TJ Watt manages to get going against kind of the piecemeal right side of our offensive line. Joe has to keep his wits about him. He has to keep his head up. We need to have people there who are ready to kind of bail him out if necessary. But I don't think it's going to be that smooth sailing today.
Ken Buzzard says, "Ugh, hate the Steelers, all the steroid use in the 70s. Every one of their rings is tainted." Don't hold back, Ken.
Go on, Ken.
Their bandwagon fans are absolutely more loathsome. As we near Christmas, it's important to remember every time a Steeler fan cries, an angel gets his wings. Ken is off his long run today.
I love that one. I love that one so much.
It never ceases to amaze me how far Steelers are able to push everyone's hatred for them. I mean, they beat Dallas the other day, and then Ben comes out and says the Cowboys may be the team of America, but we're the team of the world. I mean, just give us another reason to hate you even more. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I mean, it's just I don't know. Why, like as Andy Dalton said last year, why consume yourself with hate? But it is the Steelers week, so it's kind of fun to consume yourself with hate for at least a week. One man who hasn't got any hate at all, he is a large furry ball of love. It is our very own Moz, who's going to give us some more beer recommendations. So here is Moz.
Hello, Bengals Nation. Moz here with 2 new beers for you guys to try. Exciting day today. Big game. And, kind of looking forward to it, to be honest. But I digress, as always. The first beer I recommend is from a brewery I don't think I've mentioned thus far. It's a cracking brewery. Been one of my favourite breweries the last couple of years. They've been really excellent. It is Press Drop. We're based in London. This one's called Great Lakes. It's got Citra, Mosaic and Simcoe. So you can just expect a lot of tropical juicy flavours, and and it's only 5.2% as well, so it's really sessionable. Price wise, it's an American New England pale ale, so you can expect to be like thick and but just really juicy and refreshing, and you can drink a lot of it as well. So I think that's a great beer for anyone to try. You're talking price wise, talking about $5.30 to $6, depending on where you are. It's not the cheapest beer for the ABV, which is something I normally go for, hence the bigger beers I normally recommend. But yeah, that'd be a great beer for anyone, and I fully recommend Pressure Drop. Great brewery, and I hope to finally get to go to their brewery pub down London. But obviously everything keeps getting tits up with COVID and stuff, so I've not been able to. The second beer, I know I normally traditionally go for the UK beer scene because it needs as much help as it can get. But there is a beer from the Netherlands, from Brewery Keys, and this is the Caramel Fudge Stout. It's an 11.5% stout, so it's a big boy. It's one I probably keep for Christmas, to be honest with you. So you can just sit there and just enjoy it. It's literally caramel fudge. It tastes exactly like a caramel chocolate bar, Cadbury's caramel, the sexy bunny and stuff like that. It's a fantastic stout. It's so thick and it's sweet, and it's a brilliant stout. And they do a lot of barrel conditioned beers such as like cognac and Buffalo Trace and all that type of stuff, and they're all fantastic. So yeah, they're the two beers I recommend. And that beer, talking price wise, you're talking probably similar to the Pressure Drop, really. Talking $5.30 upwards, but it is a smaller can. So it's one of them sipping beers which you enjoy. So they're the two beers I recommend. I know I look a bit like fucking Big Ben at the minute with my beard and stuff. I just really cannot be bothered because I keep being ill. But I weirdly fancy us today. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's stupidity or just sheer blind faith. But I've just got a sneaky feeling we might win it today. I've got a sneaky feeling. Because the Steelers, they might be the worst 8-0 team of all time, to be honest with you. They aren't a bad team. They're a very good team, obviously. But they aren't that great, to be honest with you. And I think they're starting just to curtail it a little bit performance-wise. So I think we're playing at a really good time. They weren't convincing last week at all. And I think we're slowly getting better. We're slowly getting better. And we're projecting Joe a lot better, which is always the key for us to win a game at the minute. It's great to see so many people activated who I think will make a big difference. Like Quinton Spain, I thought was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant the last game. So, and that was based off a couple of days. So, with an extra couple of weeks or so practice, I think, I'm excited, to be honest with you. I never thought to say that about this year, about the Steelers game, because I thought we'd just get battered. But I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to win it. Hopefully we do. Hopefully it'll be a great Sunday and a who day.
All right.
There we go. Moz with some beers and then some extreme optimism as well. That's a deadly combination, beers and optimism. Kev, you're a beer man. What are you drinking today?
So, I'm just on Hobgoblin. But I have been to Pressure Drop. It's in Tottenham Hale. It's about 30 seconds away from the Beavertown Brewery, which we can ignore now because they're 55% owned by Heineken, so they're dead to me. But Pressure Drop, yes, Moz, great brewery to go to. But I'm on Hobgoblin. I'm more concerned about Moz's love for the Cadbury's Caramel Bunny. That's obviously quite a strong image that stayed in his head. He's called her a sexy bunny. I want to know if he has similar feelings about Jessica Rabbit.
Well, that's a private conversation, I think. Between so we've got some people coming in showing us what they're up to. This is Nathaniel Sensicall. My tailgate is playing cards with this lad before bedtime, donning the new jersey though, and looking rather fine. Nathaniel, thank you very much. And Stuart Baird, who normally sends pictures of a different nature into us, he says, "Bit of a cheeky roast on the go."
Oh yes.
Are we thinking that stuffing on the right?
That looks to me like pudding. That looks to me like a crumble. Perhaps Stuart, you'd like to confirm or deny that. I don't know. What do you think? Is that crumble or stuffing?
Yeah, it looks like a crumble to me.
It does look like. Why are you cooking that at the same time as the main course?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Only
it'll be timed to perfection. I think that'll go well with gravy.
Yes,
so we can talk gravy.
We can. Well, should we go through our weird food things? Oh yeah, Tom McDowell, fresh from proving that he's still alive from his coronary-tastic attempt at Cincy Chili last week. This is what him and his son are going for this evening, which looks.
So he's got the 2 for £4 Menabrea deal at the co-op.
I think so. And he's also again not super high in nutrition. There, it has to be said, but that's fine. Who am I to say? Right, let's go through our food bits and bobs before we get to our predictions. Jamie, you sent through this last week, didn't you?
Yeah. Genuinely horrifying.
Would you like to explain?
So this is mint choc chip sauce on chicken wings. And somebody said that they probably like to try to taste it, but in terms of the visuals of it, it doesn't look good.
Kev, what are you saying about that?
It's a disgrace.
16.
Nothing else.
I like that. I can't get. I mean, I'm not. I just can't get my head around the fact that it looks like some Ghostbusters, but also I can't get my head around the idea of like hot spice and mint. Do you know what I mean? It's not a flavor combination.
Well, mint is kind of like negative spicy. So if you have like particularly strong mint, I can kind of see how that will play off against it. But it seems overdone. It seems excessive. If you kind of created a meat rub with a little bit of mint in it just to counterpoint, then I might be on board with it. But that just looks like somebody's put a load of ice cream topping on some chicken.
With rabbit toppings on top as well.
We've spoken before about mixing sweet and savoury, and it works in certain areas. Not that. Doesn't work for me.
I'm not feeling it.
How about you feeling this? Now, we've been talking about pigs in blankets recently, and obviously that's a traditional British thing leading up to Christmas and for Christmas. And the shops are going nuts all of a sudden, and someone's launched this.
Oh, here we go.
It is a pigs in blanket cheesecake, and it is from a company called Please Cakes. And they say pigs in blankets are everyone's favourite festive snack and the ultimate Christmas dinner time. But how about as a topping on a cheesecake? Putting these little salty morsels on a well-deserved pedestal is Please Cakes with its most controversial cake to date, the notorious PIB. And it's got cheddar cheese, oatmeal, and thyme base with a savoury cheesecake filling containing fresh thyme, sage, and pigs in blankets, topped with a sweet caramelised onion chutney, a generous portion of crispy pigs in blankets, and fresh sprigs of thyme and rosemary. And that will set you back £38.
Bloody hell!
That's quite a luxury, isn't it? Now.
Yeah, I might be on board until the price. It could sort of fall into that kind of quiche territory where it's soft and savoury, and you can live with it, but the price is just beyond me.
Tom McDowell in the comments says, "You had me at pigs in blankets." How about this, man? Because more pigs in blankets, and it's the supermarket chain Iceland. And they've released some Carolina Reaper pigs in blankets.
Oh yes, I'll give that a go.
And they're called scarily spicy Carolina Reaper pigs in blankets. And the pepper, which has an intense heat that translates to 2.2 million Scoville units, was developed back in 2013 and is thought by many to be the hottest chili pepper on the market. And there is a warning. There is a warning sign on the packet, and but they're only £2. So,
well, here's my warning. Here's my prediction.
Sorry, Kev, what happened there?
Oh, I got kicked out.
Oh, sorry.
All right. No,
I can say, Paul. My prediction is Tom McDowell will be all over that. I think we need a video of him trying that. Where did you say it was from? Iceland.
Iceland.
There you go, Tom.
Not the country. Dave Cass says, "I wanted one. Then you told me the price. Then I changed my mind." Okay. So I also saw this, and I thought it was quite fun. It's a stuffing flavored ketchup.
All right.
and which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Really? I think.
I'm on board with this until you reveal something incredibly hideous about it.
I'm not. It's basically a ketchup that tastes like stuffing, and it was apparently devised by a 7-year-old child, and is now in production. Kev, are you a condiments man? Would you
Yes.
put that on anything that enter your mouth?
Yep, I'll put it in my mouth, and it's the same. It's the name of my cat. So my cat's name is Bertie. He likes stuffing, but what stuffing? What stuffing is it? That's
I don't know. I mean, I think it's like
sage and onion.
Sage and onion and thyme. That could work on most meats.
I don't know if I like cold stuffing though.
Right. Okay.
Well, I'm envisioning it on like a, get it on a sausage butty.
Yeah.
The sauce will warm up with the sausages.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm down with that.
I don't like stuffing, so I just don't have stuffing. But ketchup, different condiments, they seem quite prevalent these days. I mean, we've certainly got a jar of beetroot ketchup in our fridge, which is quite interesting.
We do. It's nice.
Yeah, and there seems to be a lot more variety out there of condiments these days.
Well, we go from the sublime to the ridiculous now, I'm afraid. There's this. Weetabix put up a recipe for this chicken on their website. So basically, you crush up loads of Weetabix. I'm sure the Americans have that too. And you coat your chicken in mayonnaise, then dip the chicken fillets in the Weetabix flakes, and then you deep fry it.
Breadcrumbs, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm feeling that. That's,
okay.
That's not incredibly awful.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a go.
Kev, would you like to mix breakfast cereals with chicken?
2020. Why not?
Anything goes.
Exactly. But what about this?
Oh.
Exactly. A meat obsessed dad made a birthday cake for his son out of 3 different cuts of steak with mashed potato for icing.
No, this is a cry for help.
I mean, give him credit. He's got the right colour for the beef, hasn't he? For the steak. Sorry, I shouldn't ask Paul that as a vegetarian, but he's got just about the right colour, but not the mashed potato for icing. No, thanks.
Apparently, there were filet mignon, a 20-ounce ribeye, and a prime rib base into that. They cooked it medium rare, as you say, and they've got bits of bacon on it as sort of decorative. Yeah, that to me looks disgusting, but I'm sure there are lots of people out there. And just go on, Kev. You were itching to say something there.
No, I've just seen Tom just saying yes. It's an absolute abomination. So obviously,
I think Tom said yes to everything we've put on.
Basically, Tom says yes to everything, full stop, doesn't he?
Well, credit to Mozza. Credit to Mozza though, calling that birthday steak.
Birthday steak, very good. And finally, in our little food section today, we've got this. Now, a TikTok user has left people on social media platform TikTok horrified with their unconventional culinary techniques, which includes cooking a steak in a toaster.
That could work. I've seen a video on YouTube of someone cooking a salmon in a dishwasher, and that worked. I think
steaming it.
If you give it long enough, I mean that'll braise the outsides at the very least. I mean, it might not do much to the middle, but
depends how rare you like.
It could work.
I don't think you're going to put your toast in there the next morning, though, are you?
I mean, that's what I say. Surely you'd have to throw. It's a one and done usage of that toaster. Surely, I think. I
mean, if you just want to braise the outside, stick it in your George Foreman grill.
There you go.
I guess it is it's almost like a George Foreman, isn't it? I suppose a little bit. Okay, what time are we now? We've got about 10 minutes to go. As ever, we'd like to hear your predictions. Who's going to win today? Where is the game going to be won and lost? And while you have a think about that, we've got our resident tipster, Adam, to give you some advice on that.
Good afternoon, Bengals fans. It's that time of the year that we look forward to. It's us taking on the Steelers. Travelling to Heinz Field, we are 7-point underdogs and the total is 46. Do we think we're going to win that game? Well, if you do, you can get a nice 3.7, so about 3-1 on us winning outright. I don't think we will. I think we'll keep it close. I think it could be the beginning of the tide turning in this clash. I think, obviously, we have PFF's highest ranked quarterback in the division with Joey Burrow, who's looked better week on week. He's been brilliant, frankly, in recent weeks. He's going to have to deal with more pressure than he probably has faced in the whole season so far, which is saying something given the fact that he's been hit so many times by the Browns and the Chargers. I think he'll do fairly well tonight. I think he'll handle it. I think our offensive line will be interesting to see how they do after a good performance from a makeshift one last time out against the Colts. I think that we are going to, as I say, I think we'll keep it close. I think we'll keep it within the 7. So I'm pretty happy there. Obviously, without Joe Mixon this week, but Gio Bernard will be back there. He's actually pretty good at blitz pickups. So that, strangely enough, might help us. If you think he's going to run the ball, his line is 34.5 yards. That's remarkably low, although obviously the Steelers have one of the best run defenses in the league, which is why it's that low. Joey B, he could scramble. His line's at 9.5 rushing yards. I think that's a fairly decent over. Then we're looking at the receivers. It looks to me like T. Higgins is the one now. He is set at 61.5 yards. He's going to be around that. He's had over 62 in the last 5 games and a long of 24, at a minimum of 24 yards. In those games, his line for longest reception is 22.5. So you're looking at around there. He's going to be around that. It's a little too close for me to back, unfortunately. Samaje Perine obviously scored for us last time out. He's a nice 15-2 to get a touchdown this week. He could well be the goal line back again against a stout run defense, but he should probably get the chances. So it's probably not the worst bet in the world. Flicking back to receivers, you got Tyler Boyd, 67.5 yards. Obviously, he's a Pittsburgh alum, so he'll be looking forward to going back there. AJ Green, 50.5. Not one I'll touch. He could do. He always has good games against the Steelers. So who knows? I'm actually looking forward to this game. I think we will put up a decent performance. I don't think we'll win. I think we'll keep it close. I think the Steelers are overrated for what they've done so far. Big Ben, I think he will throw an interception. He should have done 3 or 4 times at least this season. So I am looking forward to this one. Fingers crossed we'll keep it competitive and it'll be the start of the next 5 years kind of turning around and us getting a few wins against them. They've won 10 in a row against us. So, yeah, let's just keep it competitive and hooday.
Well, thank you to Adam there. And as ever, please bet responsibly if you are going to have a little tickle on something this evening. Whatever name 3 says Cincinnati 27, Pittsburgh 24, who day? Mozza is back and he says my optimism has declined a tad, but I don't think we will get blown out. If we can keep it reasonably close, I'll be happy, says Dave Cass. But what say you, Kevin Angel?
That's me. So I had us down by win. 2 reasons. 1, I want to be optimistic. 2, I'm staying up later on a school night, so I don't want to think I'm going to stay up for a loss. No, I just love to see it, just because this is one of my favourite games of the year. We only get to do it twice. It just feels, compared to the other conference games, it just feels so much different to me. Like, I don't really get excited by the Ravens game. I don't really get excited about the Cleveland game. I really just came into the Bengals off the back of the playoff wildcard game, so that's the kind of, it was exciting. I mean, I was reading a CBS report earlier of how they described the game, and they described perfect trying to decapitate Antonio Brown, which I quite liked. So yeah, this game always just, when it comes around, just feels so much more important. But yeah, I think it's going to be close. I'd like to think we can edge it, but it could go to overtime with us. Who knows?
Jamie, what are you saying about tonight?
Right, so where I'm at is I think the Steelers are going to absolutely obliterate us, and I'm not hopeful for anything at all. I've seen the weather forecast come through. It doesn't really fit with the success coming from our passing game. I think it's going to be an ugly game, and I think it's going to be an ugly game dominated by them. However, if we win, I think that could spark us on to greater things going into the rest of the season. So, with the caveat that I don't think we are going to do it, if we do it, it will be big.
Pete, how about you?
Well, when it comes to the weather, we can't forget that it was blowing an absolute gale in the last game against the Titans, and the passing game still worked. I just want to see us still in the game in the last 5 or 6 minutes, so well into the fourth quarter. If we're still in the game, it's going to take a big play or two, and can we make those big plays? Despite being an eternal optimist, I've still got the Steelers winning. I've got them getting a lucky penalty call and getting a field goal opportunity in the last 2 minutes to beat us 27-24.
Well, it wouldn't be Bengals Steelers without a bit of drama or a bit of controversy, would it really? So who knows what's going to happen tonight? But yeah, I kind of agree, really. I just don't see us winning tonight. We've got too many injuries in key positions. Our secondary is now decimated, and it wasn't very good anyway. At least one half or one side of the secondary wasn't very good. Offensive line, obviously, it kind of worked miracles against the Titans, and they should be congratulated for that. But this Steelers defensive line is an absolute machine, and I'm very, very worried about how much they'll get to Joe Boyd tonight. But hopefully they've come up with a nice little game plan. I mean, I think, the way this offense has been playing, they will score against the Steelers. Like all you guys have been saying, they've been kind of not lucky, but do you know what I mean? That they haven't been a convincing 8-0 team. But I just think it might be a bit too much too soon for this team, and I think hopefully we'll get them back at PBS on Monday Night Football in about a month's time. I know it's kind of towards Christmas, isn't it? That towards the end of December, that Monday night game. Yeah. And then we'll give them a better game with once everyone. We might even have had Trey Waynes back by then. Who knows? But I'm expecting defeat. But as everyone said, I just want it to be competitive and to show not be like the Baltimore game where we were just sort of blown out really, and we just couldn't handle what they were throwing at us. And I hope it's competitive. I hope we can keep Joe Burrow upright enough, and he emerges alive. That's all you can hope for at the end of this game, I think.
Paul, we can't escape the fact that we've had 2 weeks to prepare for this, and that yes, we've got injuries, but that 2-week preparation usually stands good teams and good coachings in good stead. So let's hope that we've come up with a good game plan to cope with their pass rush and to cope with our injuries in the 2 weeks preparation time we've had.
Oh God! Do you remember Marvin's teams when they used to come back from bye weeks? They used to have absolute shockers, didn't they? Yeah. For whatever reason. So, anyway, guys, it is coming up to 5:30. We've got about 4 hours now until kickoff. So enjoy the game if you possibly can. Big thanks to Kev. Lovely to see you again, Kev. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
As well. And Peter. Nathan and I will be back with the podcast tomorrow night. And we will have an actual current Bengals player, all being well, as a special guest. So tune in for that.
Will it be Darius Phillipson speaking entirely in vague
riddles? He is
the riddles.
He is the Bengals version of the Riddler, isn't he? Is our Darius. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned tonight. Enjoy it, and we'll see you next week. Until then, friends.
Good day.
Good day.